The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host, and today we're going to be talking about a bed and breakfast located in Hollis, New Hampshire, and the owner of this bed and breakfast is Vivian Silva. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And the name of the bed and breakfast is the Timber Post Bed and Breakfast.
Correct.
And it's been around since 1774.
The building was from 1774, and the building was actually built by the original Hardys, and they actually got the timbers from Outback, and they're all put together with pegs.
From Outback, what do you mean?
In their backyards.
Oh, from in the backyard?
Some of the trees actually still have bark on them.
Really?
Yep.
And so, original foundation, original post and beam?
Yep, there's some boulders down in the basement. There's an arched fireplace that is built from the ground, underground, and it looks like a root cellar from underneath, and it has a nice archway to it. And when you come to the main level, you can actually see what's called a king's plank fireplace. It has a wide plank boards, which back in the day, it was actually considered against the law to keep the wide planks here, that they had to be shipped off to the King of England.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Wow. So we're built-in rebels.
Yes.
Rebels. So how did it become a bed and breakfast?
Well, a couple of years ago, I went to go visit one of my counterparts out in Falmouth, Maine. Her name is Donna. She actually owns a bed and breakfast as well. I stayed there vacationing, and when I was telling her about my story, how I needed to have more time with my family, because I have elderly parents and 2 young children, she said that that's how she became a bed and breakfast owner. She was in the same situation as I am right now. It gave her the flexibility to work from home, have the flexibility where she can get her kids off to school, and she was a single mom as well. So she was very inspiring, and based on the fact that working a full-time job for me was very difficult, she really inspired me that this is probably the best type of job for my situation.
So I've never been to a bed and breakfast. It's always been something that, it's probably on my bucket list at some point to do. What is the idea of going to a bed and breakfast versus a hotel or motel, or what is the advantage of that, and what is the draw?
Well, Timber Post is actually a very quaint bed and breakfast in Hollis, very quiet location, but we're very close to downtown Nashville. We're only 6 miles away. And when people come, you feel like you're in the mountains. You feel like you're far away from everything. You pass by the farms, and you're just in a very nice, quiet location. And when you pull up, we have the gravel roads still. And when you walk through, we have a beautiful garden that people can walk through the arbor. And we have the brick walkway, flower gardens all in the gardens. And every room actually overlooks some sort of
Do you
flower
manage
bed.
all the gardens too?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And so the rooms overlook the gardens?
Yes, and we do have 5 rooms, 4 of them which is upstairs, and then we do have a first floor accessible room. And everybody that comes in, even if they rent 1 room, depending on what day of the week that they come, if it's a busy season or not, they could spend the same amount for 1 room and rent the entire house.
What is a busy season for you?
Our busiest season is usually from April to October, but then again, we do get a lot of travelers coming to see families in the November, December months. So it can really vary, but we do have people over the winter time that are just sick of being locked up into the house. They actually enjoy coming down even in the middle of a snowstorm. We've had people that have come. I cook on the old, we call it a Victor oven. It's one of the old cast iron cook stoves. So I actually make breakfast on there in the middle of the winter seasons.
Interesting. So people, you want to get a weekend away, take your wife out on a little date or something to that effect. Let's go to this nice, quaint little place, and nobody has to make the bed. Nobody has to do the morning cooking. Is that all part of the package?
Yep. And actually, a lot of times when people come, if I know that they are coming for a special event, I do offer them our local packages, which I can book a nice dinner reservation at one of our local restaurants. They can come in and just have everything pre-planned for them.
You were talking about a restaurant here in Nashua that I've never heard of.
Yep, Cecina Toscana.
Okay.
We do a lot of business with them. Felix, the owner there, has been phenomenal. If I know that people are coming to have a birthday or anniversary, I'll let him know. And in the past, he has put flowers on the table for them.
Well, where is this located?
It's right on Amherst Street in Nashua.
No, I just never heard of it for some reason. And I drive that road all the time, but sometimes you're more worried about the person trying to pass you than what side of Amherst Street?
It's on the right-hand side. It's right by the...
Heading east or west?
I know. It's actually going west.
Okay.
So when you get off the exit, off exit 7 west, you just keep going straight down. It's right on the plaza on the right-hand side.
We celebrated New Year's at Fulcino's, and we had the pigtails.
Yep.
And, you know, again, it's one of those that you just go by it, and then, of course, now you try their food. It's phenomenal.
Yep.
We had a 5-course meal. It was and you know about Fulcino's.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually part of our package as well. So when people come in, if they want to go out to dinner, we give them a coupon to go in and have 25% off their dinners. And then we offer them also a 10% discount at Fulcino Vineyards. And then if they decide that they want an in-room massage, we can go ahead and schedule that for them.
Now, who does the massages? Do you have a local person?
I do have a local woman that comes in, and she is a wonderful person. She's a great masseuse, and she just does it privately on the side. She has been going to school for massage therapy. Hasn't officially got her degree yet, but she is still kind of working towards that. And honestly, everybody that's come in was okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
We do get a lot of bridal parties that will actually use that advantage, where they'll set up in one of the rooms, and we might have
What a great idea.
a bunch of women just going upstairs, getting in their robes, coming down, having a nice bottle of wine from Fulcino's. And then as they are ready to go into their massages, they'll be sipping their wine, and the best part is you don't have to go out after your massage. You can just go right to bed or go right into the shower. And
What a nice gift, though, to give somebody. Honey, you're going to go to a bed and breakfast and bring all the girlfriends. Maybe you can do a paint...
the sipping paint parties.
Paint party.
Yep.
We've had them on here as well, and have some wine. Just have a girls' night in at a bed and breakfast.
Yep.
What's the maximum size that you would take in?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question, because right now we are so small. It's just me. It all depends on people's situations. We've had just 3 separate individuals that will come in. I try not to overbook, because I don't want anybody to feel like they're on top of each other. I try to do
Well, you got 5 rooms.
we have 5 rooms, but I only try to book maybe like 2 groups at a time, like either a couple and a single person, because we only have 2 bathrooms right now. But eventually we are going to go ahead and expand, but right now I try to limit it based on the bathroom situation.
Yeah, well, obviously.
We don't want people waiting in line.
No. Well, that's interesting. So there's a masseuse. You can you make arrangements for them at one restaurant, 2 restaurants, a few.
Actually, it's
Whatever
really
they're in the
whatever
mood for?
people want. I mean, I do recommend a lot of different restaurants in town, whether they want Mexican or Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian. I really get the best of all of the local restaurants, and I usually keep their menus in my closet downstairs, where they can actually choose of what it is that they're looking for.
It's Hollis is very unique in that it's so beautiful, and you actually want to drive slow through Hollis. looking at the farms, looking at the hillsides, and yet you're 2 minutes, 5 minutes away from
6 miles away from downtown Nashua.
in roughly 15 minutes.
Yep.
You know, and that's really nice. But you can get that feeling that you're actually out in the country, and you really are.
Yeah.
Are there attractions in the wintertime for people to come? Obviously, that's not your busy time.
Right. Actually, there's a lot of different advantages that people can do. We do partner with Beaverbrook Association, so people can go over there and snowshoe. We do have a lot of local places that they can go ski. There's Neshoba, there's McIntyre. We do a lot with the Nor'easters Ski Mobile Club.
Is there what's that? What's that skiing?
Cross-country skiing.
Cross-country, thank you. Are there local cross-country trails near?
Yep, there's actually quite a few in Hollis. And actually, I didn't realize, but we actually have one of the biggest trails right in our own backyard.
Really?
That go all the way up to Canada for the ski mobilers.
And so you would definitely entertain people wanting to
Absolutely.
park there and go on up and come back as long as you take care of your trailers, I would assume.
Yep, and actually there's plenty of parking. If somebody did come with a trailer, it would be fine. We do have plenty of off-street parking.
So what type of cooking do you do?
I do a lot of breakfast, obviously. I do a lot of local farm fresh items. So
And you're surrounded by farms.
surrounded by farms. Everything's farm to table. I do bacon, eggs, sausages. I do a lot of waffles, pancakes, really whatever people are in the mood for. But one of my specialties is actually a egg dish. It's like little quiche idea. I do wrap them with bacon and fill them with a lot of different vegetables, and it seems to be a wonderful hit to the guests that come to stay with me. And every day that I do breakfast, I always do a baked good as well as a fruit. So if I have, mostly the summertime, I do like fresh cut fruit. But in the wintertime, I might do more of like a baked apple or something that's baked.
Yeah.
Extend the seasons.
Interesting. So, and you had mentioned something earlier about lavender. What's up
Yes.
with the lavender? There's a lot. Is there a lavender farm around? Or?
Yes, actually, a couple of streets away, right off Ranger Road. It's right on Winterberry. We do have a lavender farm, which most people in Hollis don't even know that there is a lavender farm in Hollis. And Trish Carew is the one that actually does all of the lavender for me. She actually puts my own label on it, made for specialty for Timber Post Bed and Breakfast. She does scented and unscented, depending on if people have allergies. We have had people that had lavender allergies. But she does all different types of products. She does the shampoos, lotions, soaps.
You said ice cream?
She does do ice cream, which is fabulous.
Really?
Yeah.
Lavender ice cream?
Her. Yep, I keep asking her when she's going to make another batch. And she actually partnered up with a local ice cream shop. And
We just had one recently on our show, that the instant they make the ice cream right in front of you with the
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
We know them well.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
Yeah.
It was great. But anyway, so lavender ice cream,
Yep.
that's got to be, you just never think of that being a flavor.
Yep, and actually when we actually had a couple of actors that came to stay with us, and while they were with us, she actually made different lavender products. She would either make lavender cookies, lavender coffee, lavender iced tea, lavender lemonade. She does a wonderful line of so many lavender products.
Interesting. And so obviously at a bed and breakfast, you want the lavender because that's supposed to help you sleep.
Yes.
Is it true?
I'm going to say it does. Everybody that has come to stay with us, they said that they've never slept so well in the mattresses that we do have, which are also local. We do a lot with Gardner Mattress in Massachusetts, and they do manufacture them right there.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, obviously you want them to be comfortable, and that's interesting. So you must have a website
We do.
that shows everything that you have.
Yep, it's tpbnb.com. And if you go on to our website, you can actually see all the rooms that we do. You can see all the things that we offer. We do actually offer robes and slippers in every single one of our rooms. And we do offer some of our local chocolates from the Chocolate Barn. So every room is equipped with
So everything
of
that
that.
comes in through that place is homegrown, it's local, it's fresh, it's It's supporting your local farms, it's supporting your local
Businesses,
restaurant,
yep.
businesses, and of course, being the owner, you have personal stock in making sure that your guests are comfortable.
Yes, and actually we have been rated very highly on the TripAdvisor, which is quite interesting because everybody that has gone on to TripAdvisor, we don't ask for people to go on and review, and we've noticed that people that do really enjoy their stay will very much go on and comment about it.
Interesting. So you've only been doing this a couple of years now?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. And what did you do prior to this? What do you bring to the business? How did you get there?
I actually have been working in the high-tech industry, and I do hold a purchasing background. I have been pretty much a manager for different facilities where I had to coordinate for different programs, different things that needed to get fixed, whether it was with the maintenance, with machines. So I really have a lot of different specialties
You were the
in
go-to
MRO.
person. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're also into fitness as well, right? You like to do the mud runs, huh?
I do. I do enjoy Tough Mudder.
Really?
And I also have been doing a lot of races as well. I try to do at least one race a month. And this is actually I just ran my third half marathon this year, as well as a full marathon relay just recently as well.
You and Rep. Janine Notter ought to get together. She does all that stuff too, boy. And we met at the Capitol.
Yes, we did.
I had a chance to sing with the kids, and you brought your daughter, and she actually got to sit in my seat, which is kind of fun.
That was fabulous.
Yeah, it's nice to see parents come with some of the classes. So what this does is it allows you to be with your children, be at home with them where they need you, and run a business at the same time, supporting your local communities. And part of that support, you've also helped out some families that were struggling through some periods of time. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. I always felt that when you do good in the world, people will always turn the table and give back to you as well. Mm-hmm. Last January, we actually had a family that a car crashed through their house. The man that actually was in the car had a heart attack, and the family that was in the home at the time, the little girl actually got severely hurt. And when we had heard the story of them being stranded and put up in Motel 6, I just felt that it was our duty that since we had the bed and breakfast, we had no bookings for the month of January last year, that we opened our home to invite them to come in and have a home of their own for the month of January at no charge to them.
That's very, very kind. Motel 6 adds up to, I think it's $56 a night, because as you drive by, it goes from, and on the weekends it's 63, right? And that's, and you hear the highway and all that. That's very kind of you to do that.
Well, we thought that by doing this, it's really to help the family out, and we just, the more I think about it, being a mom stuck in a hotel room with 2 children, a dog, it just wasn't the ideal situation. And when I had reached out to her, she said she just wanted a place to call home, someplace to think, someplace where the kids can go rest, and she doesn't hear them fighting all the time. And when I heard that story, it just made me melt inside, and I just felt that it was my obligation to open up my own home.
Do you have pets at the facility as well?
We do allow some small dogs, and it's case-by-case basis. But
do you have some that for like dogs?
No, we don't have any animals right now.
All right. I'm sure people would want to know, because if they have an allergy or something to that effect. Yep,
and actually, if somebody does have an allergy, we do have rooms that do not have any rugs in them at all, so we could certainly offer that for a person that has allergy.
So if you're driving from, say, Nashua, and you take take Broad Street, and you go right into Hollis, whereabouts are you?
Yep, so if you get off the exit and you take a left towards Hollis, you can actually gauge it exactly 6 miles from the highway. And as you go down, we're actually right on the right-hand side after the farms.
Which farms? There's a whole bunch of them.
There's actually 2 of them that are there. One is Lull and one is Brookdale. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is they're both actually in the same family, so we learned.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, when we did a genealogy chart through some people that were staying with us, we found out that Lull and Brookdale were actually family back in the day, that they were actually, I don't know exactly the relation at this point, but through the genealogy charts, there was relation between the two farms. And as we went back through our history, we found out that we were actually related as well through 1808.
Wow.
We actually had some Hardy family members in Lowell. And we actually found out back from Charles of 1808 that they're our seventh cousins. So
It's a small world.
small world.
But that's interesting. So you're right in between there, right? So it goes off to 113 and continues up.
130.
130, or you go straight and you're right there in the corner? Or?
We are right on 130 before you even get to the farms. So if you've hit Lull Farm, then you've gone too far.
Okay. Oh, interesting. What color is the building?
The building's actually a big white house, and right beside it is a big red barn.
With the chickens out in front?
Nope, actually before the chicken farm.
Okay, you know which one I'm talking
Yes.
about. So I'm just trying to place
Wes and Lou's.
Yeah. So I think it was maybe a year ago, they were talking about a big bear that was around the area. Did you hear about that at all?
I did hear about it, but I think that was before we moved in.
Mm-hmm. Not for the customers to be worried about. It's
Yes,
just
no.
this beautiful thing. I was driving out towards Mason about maybe 2 months ago, and right across the road, he's just doing his thing, just
Yep.
going from one side to the other. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and actually in our backyard before, we actually have a dog back there now. It's one of our neighbors, and actually we had 9 deer before this family moved in with the dog. There was about 9 deer that were back there every day, all the time, and they used to use the back of our property where we had some tall grass. They would actually just lay there, and that was their home.
That's interesting. A lot of apple farms around.
Yes, plenty
And-
of apple picking, strawberry picking, raspberry, blueberry.
Now, there's right near the church, Grace Baptist Church. Is it Grace Baptist Church? That's right by Lowell Farm. Take a right.
Yes, there is a Baptist church
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, there's also a farm where there's a lot of flowers. Well, on the left, and I think there's a peach. It's either peach or pear trees.
I think it's Brookdale's. I
That-
think
that
it's part
might-
of Brookdale Farm.
That might be part of Brookdale's, but you know they do grow some beautiful flowers
They
out there.
do. They have gorgeous flowers.
So, generally, how much in advance should people book? I mean, how long?
We've already had people booking up to 6 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually had a wedding that booked almost a year in advance. And then I also have people that will be driving by and just turn around and come
Mm-hmm.
knock on the door and see if we have availability. So
Interesting.
it really changes by the day.
Yeah.
A lot of people do go on our website and actually can book right from the website, which is a wonderful tool today because you can see our live booking. We also have a lot of people that will call, send an email. So if people come in, I don't always go in and just reserve the night because they're already there.
Right. How large is your land property?
We have just over 2 acres of land.
And so people can walk around. And,
Yep, there's actually 10 acres of land that is far in the back. It's all conservation land, so as people come and stay, they are more than welcome to go walk the property in the back. If you walk straight through, it's actually all owned by the town, and that's actually where we were allowed to go snowshoeing,
Nice.
thanks to Beaverbrook.
Very nice. And really, it's almost walking distance to Fulcino's if you'd like to
Sure
get
is.
almost.
Actually, it's not that far.
Right.
You can actually go right through the back of our property and go through those woods and Fulcino's
And that's
right through
another
there.
success story in Hollis, which is they said it couldn't happen, and it's a beautiful vineyard
Yeah.
right out front, and they have exclusive dinners, which I happen to be fortunate to be part of this year. What a great time.
And we're fortunate to house a guest of Fulcino's.
Yeah. So, all right. So people can get in touch with you again by contacting you through the website.
Yep,
And
Timber
it's,
Post Bed and Breakfast, and it's TPB&B, and people can call or email or just go online and book themselves.
wonderful. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And listen, if you want to take your wife or your husband out on a date and maybe pamper them with a massage, you don't have to go travel too far. You can invest in a bed and breakfast for a weekend. It'll support your local farms, your local restaurants, and of course the local business. And what a nice idea to just get away by not getting too far away. Until next week, thanks for watching Gate City Chronicles. We hope you enjoy the show. Thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles. And we want to thank our sponsor, Avard Cleaning. They've been a sponsor for quite a few years now, and we appreciate them being a sponsor. And if you want to be a guest on our show, contact accessnashua@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your story. Until next week, thanks for watching.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.